Today is Monday, January 22nd, 2018. I call this meeting to order. Sandy, can you please call the roll?
Yes. Mr. Warren.
Present.
Mr. Sims.
Present.
Ms. Jacobs. Mr. Brister.
Present.
Mr. Henderson.
Present.
Mr. Lockett. Mr. Brown. You also have present Anna Dow and Sandy Edmonds. You do have a quorum.
All right. I do need a motion to amend the agenda to add a reciprocal auctioneer application of Mr. Richard Craney.
I'll make a motion to...
Jeff motions.
I'll second.
Mr. Brister.
That'll be number 2.
Roll call vote, please.
Yes, Mr. Brister.
Yes.
Mr. Henderson.
Yes.
Mr. Sims.
Yes.
Mr. Warren.
Yes.
All right, it's unanimous. It'll be added as reciprocal auctioneer number 2.
What's
Motion
his name?
passes. Richard Craney. Is there any public comment on today's agenda? Any comment on today's agenda? I need approval of the minutes from November 6, 2017.
Move to accept the minutes as written. I'll second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is going to be business, and it will be the handled in executive session. Pursuant LARS 4217A. That's 1 LARS 4217A4 and or LARS 4217A10. Need a motion?
Move to go into executive session.
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
After roll call that, sorry, sir.
Yep.
Mr.
Roll call.
Mr. Brister.
Yes.
Mr. Henderson.
Yes.
Mr. Sims.
Yes.
Mr. Warren.
Yep.
All right, we are in executive session.
I'm asking that our...
Move to come out of executive session.
Second. Second, Mr. Lockett. Miss Sandy, can you please roll call it?
Yes, Mr. Brister.
Yes.
Mr. Henderson.
Yes.
Ms. Jacobs.
Here.
Yes, for coming out of executive
Yes.
session. Thank you. Mr. Lockett.
Yes.
Mr. Sims.
Yes.
Mr. Warren.
Yes.
All right, we're back in regular session.
Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is going to be...
I still have mine.
Oh, sorry. The NALOLA report.
Yes. I attended, NALOA has been looking into it at my request, or my pushing, the question of internet auctions and how we're going to handle platforms versus auctioneers. We held a meeting on December 6, 2017, specifically to define auctioneer and auction house with regard to internet auctions. We came to no conclusions. However, we looked at a number of states and how they're handling it now. I will tell you that Pennsylvania has written their statute, I've said this before, to be very detailed with regard to internet. And then they've had no opposition from eBay or any other online provider, according to their statement. We have one online provider, Zome, that's X-O-M-E, who I'll go ahead and get licensed in every state. Proxy Bid was present, and there was a third one. I don't know that she actually lists which one it is. And they said that they're trying to clarify the difference between online software that they sell as opposed to actually handling the auction. As you know, an internet platform receives the funds from the sale directly. They take their portion out, and then it is accredited to the auctioneer in some fashion. Right now, we have no control over that particular sequence. So far, no one noted a problem with that, but that is something they're looking into. They're talking about real-time auctions, online auctions, extended time auctions, such as some that we've discussed in the past, and other things. So it basically, the general discussion is the states are moving forward on internet auctions. They are going to, at the next meeting of the winter meeting of NALOA, which is next month at some point, they're going to put the discussion that we had before the entire group. And for those who don't know, NALOA is the National Association of Licensing Law Officials, and they basically we'll put out some guidelines, hopefully, for the different boards with regard to online auctions. But I was sort of surprised to hear and sort of glad to hear that the platforms, ProxyBid and others, are interested and willing to go along and do what needs to be necessary to continue their relationship. Right now, if you use as an auctioneer an online platform, you're responsible for that platform. And we're looking at other platforms and seeing their issues with the platforms themselves. And that's in, because ProxyBid or another one, I can't remember exactly which one it was, and I shouldn't say that it was ProxyBid, but one of them said they don't ask people putting stuff online if they're licensed or not. Zone and another one actually said they do. They only allow licensed auctioneers if they're operating out of a licensing state to actually post.
Is that auction time?
It may have been auction time. She didn't write down which one, I'll be honest with you, I didn't have my notes with me. But we have an active involvement with, basically online auctions. Not eBay and not Amazon, but basically the ones that most auctioneers use.
Can we get a copy of their rules and regulations? As like a
rules and
guide
regulations.
for that particular state?
Pennsylvania?
For the online auctions.
Yeah, we have that, it's on their website.
Okay, any way we could get it printed out and maybe distribute it to everybody?
You want
So, I'm sorry, I was letting Roger know it was okay for him to leave, so I kind of missed
Oh,
what is she asking for. I can get whatever I
Pennsylvania's,
just need
If
to know.
regulations and
Yeah,
statutes.
if we could, I would like to see it.
Yeah, I already have a copy of it, it's in my big
Okay,
internet
well, if we
book.
could get it the next
Yeah,
meeting,
they may have
that'd be good.
updated, that was last year, so we
Do
can
you
get
want
it.
it printed for the next meeting?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'd like to see it.
For everybody.
Okay.
Anyway, NALOA will have a meeting in February, and then, of course, they meet every July. This will remain on the agenda until we decide if they want to do anything or not. So that's sort of where that stands. I think that there are obviously some people who don't want us to regulate online, but for the most part, the licensing officials seem to think that that's important. I agree. I think we're going to see more complaints and some issues with regard to online that we have not confronted.
It's the trend.
Can I
right
tell you a
now.
little bit about how auction time works?
Sure.
They do, we use auction time as an auctioneer. We use their bidding platform and their live auction bidding platform. And they're probably the ones that told, I shouldn't say that, they may be the ones that told you they use only licensed auctioneers. But they do not. They also allow companies that advertise with them to put items online,
Okay.
which the company that sells on their online auction does the billing and everything and pays them a commission.
Okay.
And I don't know if that puts them, does that make the person selling the auctioneer, or does it make the...
And that's sort of where we're going. That's some of the issues we have to confront, because different platforms do it differently. I mean, Zone just says we're going to get licensed wherever we
It's
operate.
basically
period.
no different than eBay.
No.
Really,
And
but-
and eBay, because of what they do now, actually, part of Pennsylvania statute is to license trading assistants who take items for consignment.
Yeah.
So that's actually an eBay term. But I don't think they've noted a big increase in people who have actually sought that term. I think that was part of the discussion.
That's all Gilmore doesn't
It's just hard.
anymore, is mostly the online auctions.
Yeah, but, and he's licensed, and he recognizes jurisdiction, and he complies with the requirement that the money go into the escrow account first. I'm afraid that some of our live auctioneers are not complying with that requirement on a regular basis either. But in any event, that's sort of where we are. We're just now looking at all of the issues that confront, licensing boards and other enforcers, because we started talking about sales tax too. Are we making them get sales tax licenses for those states? And that's something that's confronting the legislature in Louisiana, among other states, as far as collecting sales tax.
That's
from
going
online
to be the
sales.
big issue, I'm sure, when the legislature meets on some of these
They're
things.
supposed to act on it this year. Meanwhile, Amazon is collecting sales tax, so state sales tax. So anyway, that's, Sandy has a copy of the minutes. I'm sure they're available to any board member, since y'all are all technically members of NALOA by virtue of being on the board. So if you're interested in looking at some of the issues, it's actually very well written, and they're very detailed.
Well, thank you for continuing to check on that and keep us updated on that. Does that conclude your report?
Yes, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Item number 2, our next item on the agenda is the auctioneer pre-licensing education provider renewal applications.
We're going to do them one at a time.
We're going to do them one at a time.
Can I say something before we start on them individually? Because Louisiana has a unique situation in that we do not have the Uniform Commercial Code, these schools routinely teach Uniform Commercial Code, which has a section on auctions. I would like just something to be sent to whoever we approve today, a little letter reminding them that they need to make sure that the students know that when they come to Louisiana, the UCC does not apply necessarily. They need to check locally for that information. Because we've had a lot of people who sit there and argue, well, I follow the UCC. Good.
So we need to attach to the letter something saying that the
I would like the
UCC
board to say that
Okay,
that's
does
required.
not apply in Louisiana.
Yeah,
Okay.
that should be put on every letter.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Equipment dealers in Louisiana do a UCC and file it with the Secretary of State.
UCC 1, that's correct. But that's for everybody. But they don't have the section on sales that you use as auctioneers and learning as auctioneers with regard to how an auction is conducted.
That's what article.
That's the difference between absolute auction and reserve auction between Louisiana and the rest of the states.
We're slowly adopting the UCC, as you know. Yeah. Well, we were just talking, as you know, Terrence is in law school. Louisiana is slowly adopting the UCC
Right.
in some areas.
Right, but not that particular statute
Right,
or section
exactly.
Right.
with regard to sales, with regard to auctions. That's always been the civil code. And I can tell you the history of that. But a lot of the laws are very similar. It's just that one, because people come in here and say, it's an absolute auction, yay. Well, every auction in the state of Louisiana is an absolute auction unless otherwise specified, which is the reverse of the UCC.
Perfect. So, the first school up is going to be Continental Auctioneers School. I need a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Can I say something? Did we get-
Discussion? Yeah.
They originally filed their application saying they only had 45 hours,
45 hours.
Which is unusual. Everyone else has at least 80 or more. They are supposed to be sending us an email saying that if we tell them they have to have at least 80 hours, they will give them at least 80
Well, then I think we have to not approve them until we get that letter.
Can you approve it pending receipt? of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
email?
we
Is it
can do
supposed to
that.
come today?
Yeah.
Where's the school located? I know
It's
not
in
that it matters, but just curious.
Buffalo Center, Iowa.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's where it
Part
is.
of America.
Okay, so you motion to
To approve,
approve
yes, sir.
So,
pending the
The receipt of the letter.
receipt of the letter. Okay. Let's get a new second on that.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. The next one will be Florida Auction Academy.
Move to accept.
Got a
And I
motion?
second.
Second. Any further discussion on this school? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes. The next school up will be the Freddie Lee Phillips School of Auctioneering. Need a motion?
Yeah, I vote that we defer it because I have some questions that I would like to ask Mr. Phillips about the school,
Okay.
particularly whether or not he's going to have online videos as part of his method of teaching.
Part of the curriculum. Okay. Any further?
You just need to have a motion.
I mean, that was the motion.
I
to
move
defer
that we
it.
defer it.
Second.
I'll second.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion to defer. Number 4 is the Kentucky Auction Academy. Need a motion to approve.
I vote that we approve Kentucky Auction Academy.
Second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. The next one will be the Mendenhall School of Auctioneering.
Move to accept.
Second.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. The next will be the Missouri Auction School.
Move to accept.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes. The next will be the Nashville Auction School.
Move to accept.
I second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any further discussions? Curious? Opposed? Motion passes. The next will be North Georgia School of Auctioneering.
Move to accept.
I second.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. The next will be the Reppert School of Auctioneering, excuse me.
Move to accept.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposition? Motion passes. The next will be Southeastern School of Auctioneering.
Move to accept.
I second.
Second. Discussion?
Question,
Yes, sir.
where are they located?
Southeast Pelzer, South Carolina.
Where?
Thank you so much.
Where?
Pelzer, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
In
Any further
Pelzer.
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. Troy University Dothan Campus.
Move to accept.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any discussion? I'm backwards, sorry. Opposition? Motion passes. Western College of Auctioneering.
Move to accept.
I second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposition? Motion passes. Worldwide College of Auctioneering.
Move to accept.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposition? Passes. It's getting real repetitive here. The next item will be the auctioneer pre-licensing education provider reinstatement, which will be the Burke Baker School.
Where are they located?
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge?
On Sherwood?
Can I ask who their instructor is?
Mr. Baker himself.
Is he an
Is
auctioneer?
he an auctioneer?
No. Not to our knowledge.
Do they
And I have
to
a
an
problem
auctioneer?
with that then.
Because I know
I
he
don't
was
think he
teaching
sent us
home
curriculum
sales.
either. He just sent us-
Yes, he sent us.
Well, then he could be a
Oh, okay.
realtor. That's different.
But I know
Have to be an auctioneer.
people.
He's not an
other
auctioneer.
states.
How can he operate a school?
But
Yeah,
didn't he,
yeah.
wasn't he
He's gotta
operating
have
a
an
school
auctioneer,
before,
yeah.
but it
No,
was
we
because
don't
he
require
had
anybody else.
actual
We have no rules
auctioneers
that say
teaching
that.
there?
Then that's different. That's what we got
Well,
to
I tell you
find
what
out.
I'll do, Sandy, I bet you.
I think
might
we
get
have to
this paper
defer
at
it to
one of
get
these
some
schools
information
you
on
just
that.
approved, got at least 5 auctioneers on staff that's teaching in school.
Well, I'd like to know it. I'd like to know it. I think we ought to defer it until we
I
get that
mean, if he
information.
ain't got an auctioneer teaching this, I'm not gonna give.
Yeah,
her
me
paper
too. I
at
think we need to know that.
$10,000.
Who's teaching it?
He's
not an
already got
auctioneer.
enough crowds in this state.
Okay, you know you're actually
Huh?
online. I mean,
I mean, I'd like to know more information. I want to know who's going to be teaching the courses.
Yeah.
Right, and it does, the letter does say that we would like to renew our certification with you with Burke Baker as the instructor. Who,
And- Are they auctioneers?
I will
That's
just
what I'm-
throw this out there, that he is trained in real estate auctioneering. I've seen his resume.
But he could be a realtor,
But-
okay, but not necessarily an auctioneer, and there's a difference.
Right, I understand that, I'm just giving you the information.
So we
I
need
have.
some more
If
information.
he's trained in auctioneering, what school did he go to? That's all I wanna know.
I think it says, doesn't it?
No, it's not going to be in here, I don't think. It's not in.
What you gonna do, Darlene?
I want to defer until I get the answer to
Make sure you
that
listen to what
question.
most people.
Being a realtor doesn't make you an auctioneer. They're two different entities.
So we defer, and you want a motion to
Yes,
defer this one?
yes, sir, until the next meeting in March.
I need a second.
So moved.
Any further discussion on this?
Sandy, I do think that's something you probably can send them an email or something and find out. Who's going to be teaching the courses? Are they licensed auctioneers?
No.
No, the letter says that Mr. Burke Baker, the classes with Burke Baker as the instructor. That's the gentleman's name.
And he's not a licensed auctioneer.
He is not.
How
Well,
many hours? They got their hours listed.
90. And they have a day-by-day play of what's going to happen at what time.
Well,
schedule it.
we need more information on that.
As long as you know that we have no requirements in the statute requiring someone who is a trained auctioneer or a licensed auctioneer. So most of them are not going to be licensed necessarily because the states may not
Well, then
require
I
them
think
to be
it should be in there that they should be trained licensed auctioneers to teach other
I
auctioneers.
don't know how you
Right
gonna take
now.
auctioneers.
Right now.
Our application can open an auction.
Right.
Right now, since
I
there
mean,
are
we
no
have to
rules.
regulate that.
Y'all would have to make that, it's discretionary with y'all. And that, I mean, you can do that, I'm just saying, I'm just not sure that
Well,
you're
I'd
treating
like
him
to get
differently
more
than everyone else.
information on that, sorry. I'm not going to vote for it.
We discussed that, yeah.
I mean.
I vote to
y'all have
defer.
to do this.
I vote to defer.
Defer.
Did you second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion to defer.
We inadvertently left off the Texas Auction Academy in
That
Dallas.
was my mistake. I left them off the agenda. They were
Okay.
the last application to come in, but they're the one that-
For reinstatement or
For
regular?
reinstatement, they're
Okay.
the one that the majority of our students go to,
Texas
Texas Auction Academy.
Auction Academy.
I move that we amend the agenda to include Texas auction.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Any further discussion? Any opposition?
To amend the agenda, do we have to?
That was just adding them
roll
to
call?
the agenda.
Do we need to roll
So
call
we
that
roll
with
call
it? Yep.
that. Let's see. Let me find me a list. Mr. Brister?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Ms. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Lockett?
Yes.
Mr. Sims?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Okay, so they've been added to the agenda.
Number 14.
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right, the next will be the tested auctioneer applicants.
I'm sorry,
You
sir.
have to approve it.
Oh, sorry, the Texas Auctioneering School. Forgive
Move
me.
to accept.
And I'll second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And can I ask a question?
Yes.
I understand one was deferred due to the fact that you had questions that you wanted to ask of Mr. Phillips, as
Yes.
Ms. Jacobs said. For Burke Baker, you deferred it due to more information.
Yes.
Can we be more specific so I can contact?
Well, I'd like to know
someone
if
with
he's going to have
information?
licensed auctioneers teaching these courses and/or supervising the teaching. I think we could defer to the March meeting.
Okay.
I
Thank
wonder
you.
if he went to Missouri School of Auctioneering.
I know that I've seen where he's trained, and maybe it's on his own website. I will.
Because that's where the vast majority of the real estate auctioneers in America goes is Missouri.
There's one in Minnesota.
There's one in Minnesota, but the
Yeah.
vast number goes
I don't know which one.
to Missouri School of Auctioneering.
And the Minnesota one's on our list. Good list.
I'm pulling up his website. I know I've read his information.
Because he had T.C. Shirley teaching this.
Right.
And T.C.'s either no longer with us or in bad shape, I don't know which. Is T.C. still alive?
Yeah, as far as I know.
I know he had cancer real bad a while back.
We need to put it on the video.
This is what it says about Burke on their website. Burke Baker is a licensed real estate broker and has been a certified instructor since '77. He holds the GRI, ITI, and CDEI designations and is a member of the Greater Baton Rouge Board of Realtors, as well as the Acadiana, Livingston, North Shore, New Orleans, Northeast, and Southwest Board of Realtors. Burke has developed unique styles for adult education which incorporate humor and real-life examples, making class fun, informative, and entertaining.
Well, you know, I'm a realtor, licensed realtor, as well as an auctioneer. There's two different animals here. I mean, I think, you know, he's got to have an auctioneer in charge of the program or teaching these things, in my opinion. I might add something else. There are some auctioneers that specialize in real estate, and that's what I do. But I think if you're a student and you're learning to be an auctioneer, you should be versed in all different areas of auctioneering. For instance, Jacob does cars. My colleague over here does machinery. And I think you need to be well-versed in all different areas aside from real estate.
Is there anything further on this? Okay, we move on to tested auctioneer applicants. Mr. Scott Schuman. And his application is complete.
And I vote that he be accepted as an auctioneer.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Passes. The next will be the reciprocal auctioneer applicant, Andrea Connor. Her application is complete.
I vote that she be accepted as an auctioneer.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Passes. Next will be the amended one, Mr.
Yeah.
Richard Craney. Now, this is pending all original documents received. Need a motion on that?
Move to accept.
I
Second?
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Passes. Next will be auction business applicant, Schuman Land and Cattle, LLC, DBA Hall and Hall. The application is complete.
I move that they be accepted.
Can I get a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Can I ask a question on that? Do they have a sanitary board license?
They are only,
Reason I'm
I
asking
think
is you
they're
got
only
cattle company
selling,
over
they're,
here.
right, but they're only coming into the state of Louisiana to sell real estate is specifically what they wrote on their application.
Is that who this Scott guy is?
Schuman, yeah.
Yes, he's the owner.
Where are they from?
I can tell you that in just a moment.
Up north somewhere.
They are from Colorado.
All right, and then the last item will be the, well, not last, but the approval of the financials. You all got that in your packet?
So move.
And I've reviewed them and voted, and I second that they be approved.
All right. Any further discussion about them? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Passes. The next meeting date will be March the 5th, 2018.
Move to adjourn?
Motion to
Second.
adjourn, second.
You're adjourned.
Adjourn.
Okay, Terry.